What's going on?
Hello.
How are you?
Long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been a minute. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been a week. For those that don't know, so did I mention it last time about like catching COVID? I don't think
Um,
I did.
I don't
No, it was on Tuesday. We recorded on Tuesday.
actually. You're right.
I, I found out, I think, either later that night or maybe just before the episode.
No, you found out right before the episode because I remember you texted me like 2 hours in advance and was like, "Hey, I got COVID and don't feel very well."
I was
So
like, I'm gonna power through it.
yeah, and my initial question was like, "Okay, that's great. We're coming back with the podcast tonight. What's the plan?"
Yeah, it's fine. It was fine.
It's all good. You powered
And
through it. Honestly,
so
you sounded fine too, so it's all good.
got COVID on Tuesday, tested positive officially, and felt like trash for like 2 days, had like fevers and stuff. But honestly, like it wasn't that bad. I was kind of lucky because everything else going on in my life over the last week has been insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
You
got COVID on Tuesday,
yeah.
bought a house on Friday. I make it sound so casual.
Yeah, just
Uh,
casually bought a house.
I'll just throw it in
Why
there for
not?
the rest of the crew. So Kelsey and I had been looking in Atlanta, Georgia. I had just got my new job about a week and a half ago, and we were looking at houses. We were kind of getting things, kind of getting mortgage guy, kind of getting a realtor, and then we found this house that we loved and made an offer, and we're lucky enough to get picked on our first offer. So.
It's crazy
Uh,
too with just how the housing market is, the fact that you're just rolling with it. First offer,
oh,
first house you find. It's awesome,
well,
man.
we have so much support around us. This is like one of those times, like I've been telling people all week. Like I was telling my father-in-law today, I was like, this is one of those times you look back and you're thankful for all the people that are around you because, like not only have I had my family as support for like finding a new job and all these things and all this transition, but like, in my opinion, God has blessed us. We're like, it's all happening at once. We got new job for me, house, even COVID was like not even that bad. I've been available all week, like just getting stuff done for like signing up or whatever, signing all the mortgage papers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Kelsey found out. I didn't even tell you this. She found out today. No, I don't know if I told you guys. I guess I did. She got her preferred job, a travel contract at one of the children's hospitals in Atlanta.
It's awesome.
So it's
It's
just
you
like
guys are just
it's crazy.
killing it right now. Killing the game of life. That is for
It's
sure. I mean,
crazy.
even we really didn't go into this much before last episode, but there have been a lot of changes for both of us
Yeah.
since 8 months ago when we kind of took our hiatus, and both of us have
Yep.
new jobs. Now you are, I mean, you just went through it. You've a lot more changes for you.
Yeah.
But like both of us are going to be working fully remote now and
Yep.
more time for the podcast and getting this whole Joystick Chronicles thing back up and running, which we're really excited about.
That was the whole idea behind all this.
Yeah.
We it was honestly it was a decision in my change with the job. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
I was thinking about different roles and different things I wanted to do and realizing the time commitment that one job would have versus another. And I literally texted Kevin on the side, was like, I really want to commit to this thing. Like, I want to
Mhm.
make sure that this is part of our life and part of our time commitment that we're pursuing this. So, um, yeah, man, it's been awesome. But yeah, we're both fully remote now too. Bunch of remote boys.
Yeah. And you're going to be now in a house in Atlanta, which I think I texted you, and I don't know if you responded, but I need you to check to see if you got what the internet situation there is in Atlanta. Because if you can get
Oh,
fiber, get
fiber.
some
I don't
fiber
know.
internet.
I don't know.
I so
Does it
I
cost more or not?
technically, yeah, it does. It just kind of depends on what service provider you go with, and really like who is available in terms of service providers. I don't know. I know in the Southeast, what's the big one down there for internet? It's what my parents have in Charlotte. I can't think of it right now, but it's not AT&T or it's not Comcast. There's another one though. That's I can't think of it off the top of my head,
It's not
but
Spectrum, is it?
it might be actually.
I have Spectrum here.
I think it might be Spectrum.
Oh,
But I think for the most part, at least nowadays, most of the internet providers offer fiber. It just depends on if you have it, like the wiring going into your house, which we actually in our apartment here in Chicago, um, just I would say early December, our condo association voted on internet upgrades, and it was right now we have Comcast. I think it's 100 up, 100 down,
yeah.
and the vote was to see if we wanted to upgrade to stay with Comcast and get 300 up and 300 down, and then that would also keep us with Comcast TV, or switch over to Google for internet and do the Google Fi internet, and that'd be fiber. So it's 1K up, 1K down,
Oh my god.
or 1 gig, sorry. And then TV would be going over to DirecTV. And I said, no brainer. I want fiber. Give me Google. I can.
I mean, we don't.
I'll
we don't
deal with
even
the
do
switch. And
cable.
I mean, we only do it because it's provided through
Okay.
the association. Whereas, like, if we had to do it separately, we wouldn't have cable either. Like, no, living here, this is the first time I've had cable since I moved out of my parents' house before college. Like, I never had it in college, didn't really need it or
No.
want it. There's so many
No.
streaming services now that it's so easy to cut that cord.
Yep. We do
Internet's the
YouTube
biggest
TV.
one. So I'm now still waiting to find out what the internet upgrades are. And I'm curious now if they're even going to happen, because the first of the year we switched management companies here. So I'm wondering if that just kind of got lost in translation, because I have heard crickets on an internet upgrade, which
Hope
is
not. I'd send him an email.
a little disappointing, but I really want my fiber internet, and I'm going to be pumped if it does happen.
Like, hey,
Hey.
poke, poke.
I mean, I already have good ping in game, especially like in COD. If I'm playing Vanguard, there's a server in Chicago for Vanguard. I always have like low double digit ping. I'm always the
crazy
lowest ping in the lobby, which is great. But just the better internet it's better for everything. Makes everything go faster. So
would be neat. Well, Atlanta's a big city, man. I mean, we'll see. We're a little bit outside the city, but I would imagine there's plenty of good service providers and all that stuff too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to do some research on it.
what's the timing for the move and everything?
So we just got it moved today. So February 25th is our close.
Okay.
Which also
You got
is
a month.
insane because not a lot of people are ready to go within a month.
Yeah.
But like I said, like everything has fallen into place. Like I mean, I start my job February 7th, so I'll be fully remote. So I literally just have to let them know, like, hey, I'm moving to Atlanta. Like, switch over my HR stuff to be remote from Atlanta, and that's all I have to do. So
That's crazy, dude. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you. That's awesome.
yeah, it's sweet.
Big changes, but the best part about all of that is that it gives us time to, or at least more time to dedicate to the podcast and keep this rolling. So we are definitely excited. That is for sure.
Yep. Oh, and to go along with that, in more transition that we didn't talk about last week, are the PC updates.
Yes, I wanted to get into that. So some of you may notice, probably won't really notice. It's been so long. Matt is not on his PC. The camera quality is not quite up to par with what it normally is.
Which is, it's so funny because I don't even think I ever got to record a pod on the new PC.
Did you? You know what? Actually,
No.
you're right. You didn't.
No, because it was
So
April.
it's like nothing's
I didn't
changed
have-
for you.
No, pretty much nothing's changed for everybody else. They're just like, oh, normal Matt, shitty video quality. It's fine.
That's all right. So we're close
yeah.
to that changing finally for the second time, right? What's the update?
Well, all right. So I dropped it off yesterday to this place that I trust with my baby, and they're gonna take it all apart, test different things to figure out what the problem is. So I guess nobody knows what the problem is yet. I was playing The Witcher, which for a lot of people, I would love to talk about it on here because
Yeah.
I was having fun with it.
Yeah.
But
And I was really excited for that too, because that was the first time that I really got you into, and I will not take credit for that. I didn't get you into it. You just kind of stumbled upon it because it was a good deal on Steam, and you really just dove into it, and I was pumped. because that was the
Yeah.
first time that you've really gotten into an RPG game. And
Besides Fallout, I loved Fallout, and I
yeah,
had a really good time. I think it was 3 or 4. I don't know which one it was.
I think Fallout 4 was a bigger one. I never really got into
Probably
Fallout,
4.
but really, I mean, this was like even recently, I would say within the last 5, 6, 7 years, this is like the first one that you
Yep.
really started to dedicate some time to. And I was
Yep.
going to start playing it too, just because I had finished just watching season 2 of The Witcher on Netflix, and continue this story because this just goes downhill.
Yeah. So I was playing The Witcher. I don't know what happened. I mean, I literally just like saved, and when I saved, my whole system I crashed. I went into a black screen on my monitor, and my system, like my fans, started running really high, and then I was like, oh, and so like I don't know what I should have done in that situation. I just sort of was like, all right, turning it off, and just turned it off really quickly.
Yeah.
And I waited a minute. I was like, turn it back on. Everything pops up. It's all good. Start playing The Witcher again. I literally all I was running was Witcher and Spotify on 2 monitors.
It's crazy.
And like for the people that don't know this whole situation, I end up like my system's great, man. Like I ended up getting a 3080 Ti, which is more than I planned getting.
It's more, I mean, it's more than enough to run the game.
Oh my god, yeah.
Do you know what graphic settings you were using? It was honestly, it probably put you into default settings for your setup, which was probably at ultra settings, and maybe that's just what did it.
But I think I changed it to high. There was ultra settings, but I didn't set it on ultra because I was like, it looks good. Like I don't need it to be on ultra.
Yeah,
high is good. So it was either on high or regular, and I really don't know. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it shouldn't matter with how my system was set up, but it is what it is. So I turned it back on the second time, crashed, could never get it to come back on. So
it's sucks, dude.
I have taken it completely apart. I have done everything that I could possibly do to try to diagnose it, and then I brought it over to that place, Nerds to Go, and they didn't test out parts. They were just trying to diagnose the problem. Took it back, worked on it again myself. Nothing. So
which that sucks. I mean, there was a day that we spent like 4 hours in our Discord just troubleshooting, trying to figure out like what could be the problem. I mean, it was a slow day at work for me, so I was Googling some things and looking on like Linus Tech Tips and just Reddit and subreddits and everything, and just trying to help you. And you'd go test one thing and we'd find some other random solution. You'd go out and test it, and nothing really seemed to work. So
I mean, I went as far as even updating the BIOS, which I didn't feel like I really needed to do, but did. So whatever. I'm just hoping that it's even like a motherboard issue would be annoying and kind of expensive, but I could probably, I don't know if I could send it back to the manufacturer or something, but like I could replace a motherboard way easier than I can a graphics card. So
100%.
Hope and pray that it's not a graphics card issue.
And realistically, I mean, if it is a motherboard issue, that will probably be your cheapest fix. Because if you go CPU, then you've got a decision to make.
I have access to it, but I can get access to a CPU though. Like I can go. Like we can get. I don't know if I could get one.
I mean, I can walk into Micro Center every day of the week, and I can get you one.
Find one. Yeah. So
that's the one of the nice things about Micro Center is that a lot of like the processors. I mean, graphics cards they just don't have, but like the main kind of pieces they don't really even allow online purchases. So me having one, I mean, there's literally 2 in Chicagoland. There's one in Westmont, and there's one here on the north side in Chicago, up in Lincoln Park.
I'm gonna Google.
That's super easy for me to get to. And
I'm gonna see if there's one in Atlanta.
I was gonna say you should check to see if there's one in Atlanta because that would be a big fat W.
That would be very clutch.
But I mean, Micro Center, I call it nerd heaven, and Christy laughs at me every time I go because it's such a fun place for me to go, just knowing what all the different components are there and just kind of seeing
Yeah.
everything. And it's like you go and you talk to somebody at Micro Center and they are super nerd through and through, but like I connect with them and oh man, what's the mileage on that?
Hold on. Can I
Yeah.
zoom out a little
You
bit?
can see
Where's the
that
label?
you can see that on the screen. That's pretty close. What's the mileage on there?
It is directions. Oh, back. Hold on,
So for those of you listening,
bro.
Matt's got his phone pulled up right now, and you can see it on screen. He's got the map of the proximity to his new house. Which don't show that again. Don't show your house on screen. Just thought about that.
Fair.
But
15 minutes,
15
boys and
minutes.
girls.
Oh man, 50. You know what? That's probably less time than it takes me to get to my Micro Center, and my Micro Center is like 3 miles away. I mean, that's just Chicago traffic for you.
Dude,
But that's awesome.
that's great.
And it's going to be huge upgrade for you just in terms of anything PC troubleshooting, upgrading, all of that. So add that to the benefits list of the move and now living in Atlanta. Yeah, it's a
W.
you pull a Jameis Winston and you eat a W.
Fat W. I just feel like I keep winning, you know?
Yeah, just keep racking up the wins and it's all going to be good. So we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that we're going to get another W here, or at least you are, and your computer's going to be fixed very soon. And we'll get you back to...
Either way, we'll figure it out. We use my 2013 MacBook and, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, how's the switch been from going to playing Call of Duty and all the other games on a PC to now back to an Xbox One that was 2018, 2017? When did you get that thing? And it's got to be...
I got the Xbox One X, not the... you know what? They're so confusing.
Not the Series X. It's the One X.
The Xbox One X, not the Series X.
Yeah.
So
how's it?
I don't know.
How's that been?
Me and our for those that remember Matt Jordan from last episode.
Yep. Shout out Matt the Stat.
Yep, Matt the Stat. Me and Matt and another one of our friends in our friend group have been playing a lot more FIFA. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it's made me go back a little bit to go play FIFA because I really do enjoy it. We're doing pro clubs, like we can get more into that later, but the difference in Call of Duty hurts my soul. Call of Duty and Halo hurt my soul.
Yeah,
because it's just the FOV. My system just literally, we were playing Caldera yesterday, and my system wasn't like, my Xbox could not handle just the graphics. Like, stuff was not loading in. I would be in a building and I'd have like, just stuff was invisible. Like,
oh my God.
And that's the worst. And it's like, obviously, I don't know. You just get used to a standard of gaming when you switch to PC.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to go back.
It's I couldn't imagine. Like it'd be hard to go back.
I didn't think it would be this bad. Like I didn't think it would be that hard. When I'm not sure I noticed how much better gaming on a PC is until I came back to Xbox.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that either. It's like, I feel like a lot of the comments of like, even when you're going from like 60 FPS to 144, it's like, well, is there really that much of a difference? It's like, yeah, there is when you look at it, but when you do the reverse, that's tough.
That's what I'm saying, because I think you can, like you were used to the Xbox or whatever you're used to, and like you've been doing that for so long that like you learn to get really good in that situation, and then when you switch to PC, there's like a certain transition time where like it took a little bit to like get used to those games, like the FOV being wider and all that stuff, but like the game just runs so much smoother, and like you don't have those issues. You don't, like, okay, here's another example. Like Halo, do you remember Matt talking about how he'd smack somebody in the back and they like literally just wouldn't die? Like he would beat somebody down and his beat down wouldn't work.
Not really, but that doesn't
Okay.
surprise me.
Matt talked about it and Ryan talked about it, and I went and played Halo, and that happened to me several times, and I wanted to throw something. I was so mad. I'm like, "This is unplayable. How do people on console play it?" Unless you have, like, a PS5
Yeah,
or,
the
I
next gen
get I
consoles
get it.
that can handle
Now
it.
I understand. Like, you see the difference in the technology now.
Yeah, it's a good point, and I think it's something that even going into COD, it's like that game Warzone. Really, I don't think Vanguard is as much of an issue. It's still not great, but Warzone is like almost unplayable on console. It seems like
Mm,
now, even just the last couple days when myself, and Matt have been playing together, it seems like when I'm the host, every time I log into a game and start searching for a new lobby, I get a notification. This is like one or more party members can't connect to the lobby, and we have to back out. We have to restart the search and do it all over again. So it just kind of adds that extra layer. And I know we've been playing. So I know with a lot of people, we've been playing Rebirth Island, and I've actually been very much enjoying Rebirth. Um, but I think there's a big reason with that is that Caldera just as a whole does not run well on console, and
yeah.
it's hard to do
There's a
that.
lot of people that haven't switched yet. You talk about supply and demand too,
Yeah.
like with just the availability of the new Xbox and the PS5s, like people haven't been able to make that switch yet. So like they designed this game for the next generation, and then they're seeing a lot of people with a lot of issues because their systems can't handle it.
Yeah, it's tough, but I want to transition a little bit here now that we've got those updates out of the way a little bit. Um, Brought up COD, let's kind of stay on that topic. And it was confirmed today that Activision committed to keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation. Going back to our topic from last week, Microsoft has acquired Activision Blizzard, or at least has started that process. The acquisition isn't set to go through until at least 2023. So we've got about a year and a half. I think they said June was the expected closing date for that. So we've got about a year and a half before that even happens. But a lot of the questions that came up in the last week were what's going to happen for all the PlayStation gamers, and Phil Spencer and the Xbox brass have come out and said that, we fully expect to, fulfill our or Activision's contractual obligations with Sony. So the game will stay
Mhm.
on PlayStation. I think that's a great thing for gaming. I know it was a lot of people's fears for Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, but this is I think a step in the right direction to just making gaming a more inclusive environment. And this tweet that we've got on screen here from Jason Schreier, who, if you're not familiar with him, he's reports on gaming quite a bit. He's a great follow on Twitter. But he just reported today that Activision's committed to releasing at least the next 3 Call of Duty games on PlayStation. So while it's not locked in for infinity, I don't think anything is. That's at least 3 years that we've got with Call of Duty, and with the rumors of not having a yearly Call of Duty release,
Yeah,
it could be
you mentioned
longer.
that. Yeah. Yeah. I think I think this is a good thing. I don't think that segregating that player base, especially with like all the cross-platform
Hmm.
stuff, like I think what you do is you find different ways to give benefits to people that own Xbox or are playing through the Microsoft system, like rather than segregating. Like how long Call of Duty's been around. You know how pissed people would be if it came off PlayStation.
It'd
I
be
mean,
it'd be so bad, especially all the benefits that Activision has given to PlayStation owners over the last couple of years.
yeah,
Like you think about, I think it really started with Cold War.
we
In
talked
and
about some
we
of
did,
those.
yeah, we absolutely did.
Yeah,
Of having an advantage, whether that's having the game a week in advance and being able to access the beta before everybody else, or that's if you're playing with another PlayStation user, then you get an extra 10% um, weapon XP, or just even like just overall XP. Um, there were PlayStation only modes in Cold
Yeah.
War. So there's definitely, I think, a big or a large amount of people who probably got a PS5 because of that. If COD's their main game, just like, well, it's going to benefit me. So I would
Mhm.
very much imagine that a very high percentage of those people were concerned about the initial announcement of Microsoft purchasing that,
Yeah.
but have been, calmed down a little bit after this came out today.
Yep. Yep. I,
Who
uh,
knows? Who knows for the long term? I mean, he even mentions here. He says after 2023, COD 2023, that is. Um,
yeah.
he's not really sure what's going to happen, but I would hope that just for the sake of gaming, that especially with Call of
I don't
Duty
think
and for how long it's been around, how many years has Call of Duty been around? Was it like 17 years or something?
I just don't think that they would. I don't think that they do that.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's a competitive advantage to have Call of Duty on only Microsoft, but at the same time, like, do you want that for? I mean, Sony has control over some good game franchises and all that. Like, they have good game studios, so I don't. I wouldn't really want that war, to be honest. I like how the industry has moved toward cross-platform and like the friendliness of like connecting those different networks so that everyone can play together.
yeah,
Is I hope that that's what they continue going toward.
yeah. Well, and I think everything that we've seen from Phil Spencer is that he's all about an inclusive environment in gaming and wants everybody to have access to games and not necessarily pigeonhole one group of people out of being able to access something. And that's what a move like that would do. And I think with him at the helm of Microsoft Gaming, I mean, I'm in full support of it. I think he's going to be great
Yeah.
at, just guiding the direction of everything there.
Yep. Yep. Trying
Um,
to think if there's anything else on that.
on the Activision Blizzard topic,
Yes. Yes.
let's transition here because Blizzard, I feel like we talk a lot about Activision, not really much about Blizzard because
I
Activision
love
obviously is just the Call of Duty. Um, but Blizzard has announced an unnamed survival game today, and they're saying that it's taking place in an all new universe, and they want us, as in the gamers, to help write the next chapter. What that exactly means, we're not entirely sure. I think the way that I read this and the way that it's almost insinuating is that they're almost looking for people to help them write the story. Whether that's actually the case or not is to be seen. But I think this is kind of cool. And an
I,
all new universe is something that we haven't gotten in a while.
I'm sitting here laughing at that picture of the Rock, and we'll show them in a minute. We'll talk about it in a second. I think this is a really good idea. I mean, it's almost like a community made game. And you know what? You think about all the feedback that like Activision and Blizzard has gotten for, I don't know, all the criticism that Warzone gets and Apex and all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Well,
it's almost saying like, help us make this so you guys can't complain. Like, we're taking your feedback now in the creation of this game. So
and I think that proves that they're listening, whether
yeah,
people believe it or not. Um, they get flack for just about everything that they do, and
yeah.
looping the community in before the game is even has a name or a storyline, I think is pretty cool, and just kind of
Hey,
pulling the curtain.
this is something that we haven't talked about. It's not in as part of our planned show today, but I was curious if you've seen a whole lot of things. It reminds me of all the feedback and stuff that's going on with Halo right now. Have you paid attention to that at all?
Here and there, let's dive into that a little bit, and we can talk through it. But what have you been hearing?
So, well, a lot of this comes from Reddit, and so like I'm on the Halo Infinite subreddit, and people are just so upset. I haven't understood it from like the very beginning because my understanding and my expectation was when they released Halo Infinite was like in the middle of when Battlefield dropped,
Yep.
when
Which was a
Warzone
flop.
dropped the new season.
Big fat
Like,
L.
yeah. And Halo's I felt like Halo saw the opportunity and they dropped their multiplayer early, but I don't think that people understood that this wasn't a complete game when they dropped it. Like they are currently like still working on it. Like it was not a beta, but it was almost a beta when they dropped the multiplayer. Like they haven't figured out all the arena stuff. They didn't even have SWAT when they dropped the game. Like SWAT is one of the at least I have to imagine it's one of the most played playlists in Halo.
Give me ranked
Would you?
SWAT.
Yeah, give me rank
It's
SWAT
all I'll play.
and I'm unreal at SWAT, but that's another conversation.
Okay.
But no, I think like right now, so a lot of like the conversation is around a lot of the store aspect of it. Like there's a lot of it's almost like do you remember when they first started talking about Halo? I think it was maybe E3.
hmm
Um, remember that video they were talking about all the different customization that you were going to be able to do, and you could unlock it from the battle pass.
Yep.
And they like made such an emphasis on not having to pay that you could earn these in game, and there was going to be so much customization.
Yep.
And they literally like made a point to be like, we don't want you to have to pay to customize or pay to play. Like this is a different thing. And then and then when the store drops, like one of the sets of armor was no, actually they had like literally it was like a shoulder piece on the armor and like a couple like stickers or something for like $20 in the in the shop. And that's why like everybody's pissed. And you can tell like so I logged back in not too long ago, and then I saw on Reddit too, like some of the packages that they're now offering in the
hmm
shop, and you can tell they're listening. But it reminds me of all that feedback that like Activision and everybody's getting right now. Like people they care a lot about these franchises, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it goes back to like they don't like people messing with their game and like trying to like this whole monetization of gaming is still in such a transition, like you're going from a model. I'm going on a complete tangent, but you're going from a model of like paying $60 for a game. If you remember, like growing up, it's always $60 for the game. You didn't have to like there was no in-game stuff. You paid $60 and you got the whole game. And now we're transitioning to these battle passes and all that stuff, and paying for all these design aspects, which, in my opinion, Fortnite changed that whole landscape. But you can tell it's still a work in progress. Like they are still trying to figure out what that looks like.
Yeah. I think one of the big things for me that I get frustrated about with Halo is that, they talked about the emphasis on the customization and not having to pay for anything. And I mean, yeah, every free to play game is going to have a store associated with it. I understand the concerns there. I'm not necessarily that upset about that. I just kind of knew
Neither
that
am
was going to
I.
happen.
I
But
just don't buy the armor that's $20 in the store if I don't like it.
yeah, I
But
mean, you don't have to use your money if you don't want to. There's a simple solution to that. Where it gets a little bit tackier is the way that they made it seem in the announcement was that you could take any piece of armor and put it with anything else, and there are millions of combinations of how you can make your character look, and it's all about that customization. But what you don't actually realize until you're in the game is that there are specific, shoulder pads and helmets that are compatible with different armor cores. And if you don't have the right armor core selected, well, then you can't select the other thing that you want to use. And if you want,
that's
if you,
dumb in my opinion
and
too.
if you have an HCF skin, the Halo Championship Series, you can only use that with this core. You can't put it on any of the other ones. That's where I think they've missed an opportunity. Like if you buy a skin, you should be able to use it with any of the armor cores. I
Yeah,
understand the free to play stuff, like, oh, this only works for this, but like if you're spending your money, then why not allow somebody to use that on the 10 Rye event armor core that you unlock, or
put cat ears on it.
or the Mark IV armor core that it comes on, or like, yeah, throw your cat ears on there. Why not?
Yeah.
Not my style, but hey, to each their own.
Yep.
But like, I think there's a better way to go about the customization, and I hope they're working on it. They may be, but time will tell with that one. Another one that I get frustrated on is with these specific events and only being able to unlock or progress through the events by completing certain challenges. And it's the devs dictating the way that you're playing the game. That's where I get frustrated. And it's not just putting your time in, playing whatever gameplay you want and getting experience through whatever that gameplay is towards the event, or even the battle pass in general. I mean, the battle pass it's hard to unlock if you're only playing ranked, or if you're only playing SWAT, or if you're only playing Slayer. If you mix things up and do all the challenges, you'll start to go through it pretty quickly. But that goes back to not having the freedom to really kind of play the game how you want to.
I'm a goal-oriented person, and like, yes, okay, challenges. I can do the goal. Like, I can do that. But at the same time, like, in the limited amount of time that I have in my life after working out, and all the other things that I have as responsibilities as a human adult, I don't necessarily want to go into big team battle and go do some stupid challenge. I just want to go play like ranked team arena or whatever. Like, we're grinding because we're trying to get Onyx. Like, I'm in Diamond 6. Like, I wish that I was actually gaining levels that way, and instead of or gaining experience toward the battle pass, rather than like wouldn't you think, like, especially people that have grinded and are like at the highest levels of the game, that you should be rewarded for like all of that skill and all that kind of stuff too?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So anyway,
I would just like to go on a very, very quick tangent and just say that Illinois basketball just beat Michigan State without Kofi Coburn or Andre Curbelo, which is a huge W. They won 56-55. Might be the lowest scoring game in Big Ten history, but hey, that's Big Ten basketball.
That sounds like
carry on.
It sounds like Tennessee defensive basketball. Remember, I think we're like fifth in defensive efficiency.
Yeah, that's my little tangent. Go Illini.
Wait. Hold on. Can we back up just for like a half second? What are the Illini ranked right now?
24 as of this week.
We're right there, man.
Yeah.
We're 18 now.
The problem with Illinois basketball.
Michigan State was 10.
Yeah, it's a good win. It's a nice win. The problem with Illinois basketball is that it is been a huge issue with injuries.
What happened to Curbelo and Kofi?
Curbelo originally was out because he was hurt. And then Kofi was in concussion protocol because the guy just gets absolutely clobbered.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Kofi Coburn, for those that are listening, please go just look up Kofi Coburn. It's KOFI.
He's 7 feet tall, 295 pounds.
He's a massive man.
He moves in the paint, and the refs call a foul on him because there's nothing else he can do. But hey, that's life in the Big Ten. Shout out Bo Borowski, Big Ten ref. But yeah, Illinois, Tom Izzo even said, I think earlier this week, that when healthy, Illinois is a top 10, top 15 team. And when they get rolling, I think they're even higher than that. They'll be there in March. They need to figure out the injuries, get everybody healthy, get the team rolling, and just get hot at the right time. It'll be all right.
What a loss Io was, though. I was unbelievable and doing unbelievable on the Bulls. I'd figured that you would want me to say that because you love him so much.
Io is the steal of the NBA draft. The fact that he went 38th overall and he is just balling out on his hometown team here in Chicago. I'm just so happy about it. I love it. There's actually there's a company called Obvious Shirts, started by actually a Cubs fan, and it's literally just mostly all the Cubs ones. It's a blue T-shirt and it's white text, and all it is text, and it's just like ironic phrases on the shirts. And they've transitioned into doing some other local teams, like they do Bears Bowls. There's some White Sox ones now, and they're growing here in Chicago, and they've got some shirts that go out nationally as well. But they came out with a new Bulls one today, and it's like it's spelled like Chicago, but it's CHICAYO, and AYO is in a different color, so it's Chicago.
I love that.
And I'm definitely gonna get that shirt because
He's got to just be loving his life.
oh
Chicago
yeah,
kid.
he's awesome. Pumped about the Bulls. The Bulls are awesome, and I am very excited for a playoff run. They got to get healthy too, though. I mean, that's another problem.
Well, now
Lonzo has a meniscus issue, which actually that's the exact same surgery that I had about 2 years ago. So he'll be back within, I think they said like 6 to 8 weeks. He'll be back, but I think he'll be fine. But you know, Zach LaVine just came back last night. DeMar DeRozan took a rest night, so starting to get guys back. But the injuries are.
Caruso. Wait, did you say Caruso? Caruso's out too.
Yeah, so Caruso, he actually broke his wrist because of Grayson Allen.
I'm not a Grayson Allen fan. I denounce Grayson Allen.
I will, amongst many other Bulls fans and just basketball fans in general, I can't stand Grayson Allen. He's been a dirty player since he was at Duke.
You know what's the worst for me is that like it's not that he's a dirty player because he plays hard, but it's that like, he like acts like he's not a dirty player. Like acknowledge that you play hard, but like
you're also an asshole.
That you've done, that you're an asshole. Yeah, that you're a dick. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Grayson Allen fan. I don't
I mean, Caruso didn't he like fractured his wrist?
Yeah, he needs surgery. He broke his wrist. Yeah, it's if you watch the video, it's like very apparent that it's because of Grayson Allen. And Grayson Allen,
Grayson Allen's like what? What did I do? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. But yeah, sports are cool. We do like sports here. The fun fact about sports is that, you know, I know we're not a sports podcast, but you know, now we actually can talk about them because I no longer work in sports. So that's fun. We're going to talk a little bit more about them. I wasn't really allowed to voice many opinions. I won't go into it, but I can now. So that's fun. Let's get back on topic here, though. We're going to, before we wrap things up, I want to touch on one more thing. Something that I saw today that was actually really cool. Something that I'm excited about. And it is The Rock. In the gaming space. This is just, I mean, look at this. Everybody's seen this picture before. I love this, but I'm so happy that this picture is associated with this quote. I'm just so happy though. And the quote from Men's Journal, this is The Rock. This is his quote. He said this. He said, "I can't tell you which game in particular we're doing, but there will be an announcement this year. We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games up to the screen, one that I've played for years." So it's confirmed that The Rock will be doing a gaming movie.
Rock Games.
We don't know what game franchise it is. We don't know when it's happening. It'll be announced some point this year. But I'm pretty pumped about this.
Speculate.
I am all about the speculation game, and I have an idea. I mean, I'll come out and say it. I think it's going to be Gears of War.
Have you ever here's the thing. I didn't even really know the Rock games. So like,
I mean, he's in Fortnite now.
Oh. Okay.
He's got his own Fortnite skin. So like does he
talk about what games he plays though? Because that would give us a big hint.
I mean, I'm sure we could go back and find it at some point. We can do some research here. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to throw a poll down in the description, and there's going to be 4 games listed there. Gears of War is going to be one of them, and I think Fortnite's going to be on that list just because of his association now that he has a skin. And we're going to come up with the other 2 games here. Before we wrap this up, of what we think it could be. I don't think it's going to be COD.
What would The Rock play?
That's the thing. What do we think The Rock has played for years? I think that's
plays Fortnite though. I just don't feel like that's a Rock brand game. You know? Like he's in the game, but I don't feel like he would play that game.
I think the fact that he says one that I've played for years, that leads me to believe it's not a Fortnite movie. I mean, for him, you also have to think about the character that he's going to play. He's not going to be some small little guy. Like, is he going to be
Yeah.
Kratos in God of War? Like, that could be it. You kind of have to think about the character. And like in Gears, those are some pretty big dudes.
That's true. I don't know. I kind of, maybe it's just my heart of hearts. I don't want it to be Gears. I don't want to segregate that whole player base, but just have never been a Gears guy. I don't know. I know a lot of people are into it, but I don't know. Never got into it.
I was never huge into it. I never actually owned it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
It was probably a game that I would play. I'm trying to remember where I played this. This was at my neighbor's house. He had an Xbox and we would go over and play Gears sometimes. I was also never good at it at all. That was a big piece of it that I really was just like, I'd try it, but it wasn't good. So that kind of throws that in there for me. But I think I did some thinking about this today, and I definitely think that it's going to be the case. So what other games do you think? Let's think about franchises that, you know, he could have been playing for years. Even just like game franchises that we feel like would be a good fit for a video game or for a movie.
I think the only reason maybe, I mean, like well, I'm trying to think of his brand. Also, like his generation, man. Like that's why I don't think like Fortnite really fits. Like he's a very masculine dude. He doesn't take himself too seriously. That's why I can maybe see Fortnite. But
Yeah,
really, I don't think that he would ever make that.
Well, I mean, you also have to think he's done a lot of Disney movies too. Like he was in Moana.
Yeah.
Where it's like the animated side of things. He's no stranger to.
Is there a storyline for Gears?
Yes, there is. I don't know it very well, candidly. That goes back to the, you know, I really haven't played a ton of Gears. But
I mean, Call of Duty is basically war. So you know what? I really don't think it would be Call of Duty either. I want to say that, but I don't think it would.
I know.
Be.
Part of me is just like, I feel like that's the easy route to go.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to be more of a storyline. And I think God of War, I think we'll throw on that list. Okay. I think he could play a good Kratos. And then what would be that fourth one that we'd put in here?
My mind generally just goes to the games that I play. So no, I don't know. I mean, no, they already made a Witcher series. What are some other like really big game franchises? I don't know. I don't really know that I have a fourth one, man. Do a little Google search here.
I'm looking it up right now, and could be like a Doom.
Yeah. What says GTA? Can you imagine him in just GTA, just like running around?
Could you
Minecraft?
Could you imagine how well a GTA movie would do? Think about how many games that they can. Oh, actually, you know what? The Rock is already in a Doom movie, so that's not going to be it. Think about how many.
It feels like Mario.
Just like, a complete curveball, nothing that we're expecting.
Super Mario. I feel like my mind goes to war video games because he's in a lot of war movies.
Yeah, he is. I mean, it could be like a Mortal Kombat would be cool, but they just came. There's already a movie about that just came out, so it's definitely not Mortal Kombat. I don't know. I wonder if it's like a Metal Gear Solid or some sort of Tom Clancy movie, or I don't know, man. We're gonna have to come up with a fourth one. We're gonna throw this in a poll down in the description
Final
here.
Fantasy.
I don't think there's a Final Fantasy movie.
These are so funny. The Sims and Lego franchises. I mean, I guess I wouldn't put it past him if he's already done animated movies. He can just voice one of the characters, you know?
Yeah. It'll, I don't know when it's getting announced. It just came out today. I think it'll be actually pretty cool to see what he comes up with. He is without a doubt one of my favorite actors. I think just the the way that he hustles and just like the work that he puts in and the brand that he pursues is something that I think inspires a lot of people. And anytime he's in a movie, I always, even if the movie sucks, I always enjoy watching it. I
A
like
lot of
watching
respect
him.
for The Rock.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like he is kind of like, even like from his football days to wrestling to just
He's into everything, man. He's a
Yeah.
serial entrepreneur. He just does stuff. It's great. I love that.
And like I respect the hell out of his work ethic, just like getting in the gym and all that. Like I'm
Yeah.
all about that. And
Well, can you think about the time commitment that just the eating portion takes?
it's a lot.
And he does that on a daily basis with all of the other things that he's doing, all the other businesses he's started, and going to the gym. He probably lifts how many hours a day? At least 2 hours.
At least I would say. I know on movie sets he brings an entire gym with him.
Does he?
Oh yeah. For like whenever he's on a movie set, he pretty much has his own private gym set up. They bring like I heard about this.
I'd love to know what they bring.
I don't. There's articles about this, and I don't remember exactly what movie it was. Within the last couple of years, it might have been like the Need for Speed movie, or not Need for Speed, the Fast and Furious movies, where they were talking about they set up a gym for him on set, and he's in there every day. But they bring in like three semi loads of gym equipment and set it all up. And like some of the videos that he has on social, like while he's on set, like those are in those mobile gyms that they put together for him. It's like, I mean,
so crazy.
When you've got the money that The Rock has and the time and the commitment that he has, like, why not do that?
Literally, that is his brand, though. Like, that's his image.
Yeah, so, I mean, you look at his brand that he's got with Under Armour. Like, that's what he's about. He's the hardest worker in the room, and it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I think the movie, whatever it's going to be, will be entertaining. I think he does a great job with all that. So, I'm excited to see it.
We got about talking about The Rock.
Yeah, you know what?
I didn't think this was going to go this direction.
It's I think he's a huge inspiration for a lot of people, and I respect the hell out of the guy. So, that's the goal. Let's get The Rock on the podcast here, and let's do it right.
Hey, you and Nick Merckx, you guys, we can do one. We'll do one together.
We'll get Matt's pipe dream list of podcast guests together, and everybody who's listening can help us get some visibility for that.
Every time we talk about somebody like this, you're getting an invite, Yeah.
Yeah. You're always there. We'll invite you to all of our life events.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
That's fine.
Okay, let's wrap this up here. I think this has been a great conversation. We'll throw that poll down in the description. Let's hear what you guys think this is going to be. We'll get those 4 options there, and let's engage here. But we are very excited, as we mentioned last week, to be back here. You're gonna continue to keep seeing content from us. We're gonna keep pumping out weekly episodes and streaming here on YouTube. So we mentioned last week we've got a goal of 100 subs so we can get our custom links here. We are 22% there. We've got 22 subs now, so we've made some progress in the last week. We're going to continue to keep pushing there. Down in the description, you can see we've got a little progress tracker of where we're at. So we're going to continue to keep rolling with this. And you can find us here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter at the Joystick Pod, and you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcast. There are links below for everything. And we thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you guys